Alrighty, rock and rolling. It is the Zach Gelb Show, coast to coast on the Infinity Sports Network. Can't wait to get to the world's most famous arena, Madison Square Garden, Saturday night. You will be seeing Chris Weidman go up against Eric Anders, and Chris Weidman's kind enough to join us right now. Chris, appreciate the time. How you been?
I'm doing good, man. How are you?
Well, I'm fantastic. So I'm from Dix Hills, Comac area in Suffolk County. I know you're a Baldwin guy, so
Yeah, but I don't know if you know this though. I moved to Dix Hills. I lived there for 7 years.
oh wow.
Yeah, I lived off exit 51 in one of my houses. In one of my houses, then I lived off exit 52 or Comac Road.
No, how about
Uh,
that?
yeah, man. Did you go to Comac or where'd you
I went
go?
to Comac High School. I was right on the cut line, but I ended up going to Comac High School.
Awesome, man. Hell yeah. Lived on Kinsella Street and I lived on Lambview Drive.
No.
I don't know if you know any of those. Right off was that Vanderbilt Parkway or something? Is that
Yeah.
Vanderbilt?
hmm
Okay, yeah. Yeah.
So, are you a big Menino's guy? Have you had an Italian meal at Menino's? I'm assuming.
Oh yeah, yeah, it's pretty good. I like that. La Scala's I like a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah, I like La Scala's probably the best to be honest.
good buffalo chicken slice there, and the garlic knots are very good there.
Yes, they got good specialty slices. And I like their pasta too, actually. I would eat in, the actual restaurant portion too. You know what I really like that I kind of miss is there's an the Afghanistanian place on Jericho Turnpike. Right. Oh my God, that place is so good. You gotta check that place out. It's so good. Yeah.
I'll definitely check it out. But what I was
Yeah.
gonna say was, obviously being a New Yorker, you grew up going to the Garden all the time. I know this isn't your first rodeo of fighting there, but is it
Yeah.
still surreal to have a fight coming up on Saturday at the Garden?
Yeah, man, it's awesome. It's it's the most historic place, in the world, the most historic arena, I think, in the world. And so to be able to have the opportunity to fight there, especially being from here, is really cool. I mean, I grew up in Baldwin, and I lived right by the train station, so I would take the train in the Long Island Railroad, into Penn Station, walk up, and with friends, like starting at middle school, which is kind of crazy. My parents weren't very strict, and we just be looking for girls and try to get girls' numbers and stuff like that. And so I have tons of memories, starting from there. And my uncle Jimmy lives in the city, so we would always come out and visit him. Yeah, so just tons of great memories out here. I'm an Islander fan, so I wasn't going to too many
That's
Rangers
unfortunate.
games. Yeah, that sucks. That sucks that you're a Rangers fan, I guess. That's
Well,
come on,
maybe we'll have
man.
to go to a Ranger Islander game one of these days, you know?
No, I'm such an Islander fan that they tried to get me to go to MSG on Tuesday to go to a Rangers game, but they're going to make me wear a Rangers jersey. I was like, I can't do it. So I declined.
That's unbelievable. So
Yeah.
your journey has been awesome. I know you're 40 now. We all saw what happened in 2021 when you had the compound leg fracture. A lot of people would have just said, "Hey, that's it. I've had a great career." Why have you elected to continue on this journey?
I couldn't go out like that. I just was from the beginning. At first, it was like I want to be able to walk again, play with my kids, and then that transpired into me like, I got to get back. I could do this, and it took a long time, and a lot of ups and downs, but I got back, and I feel so much better right now. I feel great, and it probably, in retrospect, it prolonged my career because having all that time off during that time, I probably would have had a bunch of fights and I probably would have felt fulfilled and be done already. But here I am at 40 years old, 30 surgeries, probably, dealing with that injury. I would say maybe the worst injury in the history of the sport, only compound fracture in the sport. And Here I am, man. I think it just makes my story better and a little bit more inspirational for people. And that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to inspire people and just try to test myself the best I can and be the best version of myself. And it's not going to be that much longer that I'm fighting. So I'm just trying to not have any regrets and give 100% of myself to this before it's all said and done.
I know that's something that always comes up. Will this be your last fight? Do you feel like getting ready to prepare for this one, that this is going to be the last time you're doing this?
No, I really don't. I kind of wish it was because it would be a cool way to go out at MSG, put the gloves down there after getting a great win. But I just feel like I still feel good. I still feel good. I still feel like I can compete with the best of them. Um, in the practice room, going to all these younger guys, up and comers, and I still doing my thing and feel really dominant. But we'll see how I do under the lights, though. That's what it all comes down to is how you perform when it matters. So if I'm not performing the way I want to, then it could be over. I'm not saying I don't think I'll put down the gloves no matter what this time, but it will give me a good idea of that I'm really close to the end.
Chris Weidman here with us. How tough is that when you start to think about retirement? Because I'm not saying you get complacent, but naturally your brain's going in one direction and you can't slip up at all, especially when you get into the octagon.
Yeah, I don't know. It kind of just gives me more peace. I realize that my life is not 100%. It's not going to be. I'm not going to be fighting forever. Like when you're in the thick of it, when you're like 30 years old, you don't feel like it's ever going to end. You can't imagine life afterwards. I can kind of imagine life afterwards now, and it kind of gives you a little bit of a peace. But as far as me preparing for a fight, it doesn't take away the motivation or the discipline and the good routines that you need to be in order to be prepared properly for a fight. I think I'm even maybe more motivated to be healthy and feel great going into a fight now, knowing that I don't have many left and I want to just give the best version of myself I can.
How do you reflect on this journey? Like with it coming towards an end, like what are some of the memories that come back and some of the things that you think of when you look back at all the work that's gone into it?
It's just it's been a crazy ride. I became an undefeated world champion. Never thought I would lose, and defended my belt 3 times against some legends of the sport. And then I had my first set of adversity, and it was just like one after the other of losses, and then trying to like figure out how to get out of that slump. And you learn a lot about yourself, and it's all just kind of a part of the journey, and it's all just you kind of learn about yourself a lot. Um, and I'm proud of everything I've accomplished and all the tough moments I put myself in. I've taken tons of fights on short notice and taken fights really injured. And a lot of times I was able to persevere even going through tons of adversity. And then as all the surgeries pile up, it just gives me a little bit more motivation to persevere.
I love the crap talk that you did to Daniel Cormier and everyone over the eye poke stuff. Just how much is that kind of motivation to prove something coming up on Saturday with some of the people that now doubt you?
Yeah, I mean it's a little annoying. I've never eye poked anybody in my life, and on that last fight, I freaking eye poked him like 4 times. I think it just sucks. I wish the gloves were freaking curved so we don't have to worry about it. It's also when you fight a southpaw, which I fought tons of southpaws, you got to like stay on top of that like hand, his front hand. That's what you have to do. And so it opens up your fingers a little bit more. It's just annoying. I wish I didn't have to think about it, but I'm going to be definitely more cognizant of trying to not eye poke anybody this time. And it just sucks because I felt great in that last fight. It was my first time since I broke my leg that I was able to throw a kick, and not be afraid. So I overcame a lot, and it's just unfortunate that the eye poke thing was the thing that a lot of people focused on.
How about your opponent coming up? What stands out to you about Eric?
Big, strong, athletic guy who's tough. He's been around for a while. Southpaw again, who comes forward, big left hands. Um, I just think I got a speed advantage on the feet, and technical advantage as well. And then on the ground and wrestling wise, I think I'm levels ahead.
Let me just ask you this because I know Michael Chandler is going to fight on Saturday as well. A lot of us thought it was going to be up against McGregor, and then I kind of realized that fight was never going to happen. Do you think Connor's just done with fighting? Do you ever expect him to get back in the octagon?
I don't know. I think he'll definitely come back. I think he doesn't want to go out that way either. I can't imagine. I mean, the guy's pretty close to a billionaire. I can't imagine what he's really going through. But I think he probably misses being under the lights, being on the camera, and he had to have fun, with all of his trash talk and antics adding up to fights and how much attention and how much love he got. He probably misses that like crazy. So I'm sure he's coming back.
And then the last thing I'll ask you, we always have fun with this. Dana White is adamant that John Jones is the best pound for pound fighter on the planet. When you hear that, do you think that's an accurate statement? Do you agree with that?
I think for his body of work that he's accomplished, yeah. There's always, people will almost like the Barry Bonds and McGuire, like they throw asterisks on because of steroid failures and stuff like that. Um, So that's the curveball that's in there that, is kind of, it's always going to be back and forth on how you take that as like as a fan, if that matters to you or not. So I mean, what he's accomplished, who he's beat, his resume is untouchable. It's unbelievable what he's accomplished.
Well, good luck coming up on Saturday. And next time you're on the island, I think you're in South Carolina now. I'll get you a slice at La Scala, all right?
I appreciate that, brother. Thank you. Are you still in Dix Hills?
I live in the city now, right in the
Yeah.
financial district, but my family's still there. My
All
my
right.
parents.
All right. Don't forget about the Long Islanders, all right? Yeah.
100%. Thanks so
Yeah.
much, Chris.
All right, buddy. Take care.